Happy One Wheel Wednesday, everybody. My name is Scott Mendenhall. Welcome to another great podcast all about one wheels. We're going to talk about Race from the Rail. We're going to talk about who's in, out, who do we think's going to have what it takes to podium or not. It's going to be a good one today. We have our good friend Brooks coming in from Duluth, Minnesota. He's a local Minnesotan. We're going to talk with him about one of the best fall races. It's the best. Let's just call it what it is. It's the best. We're going to get all the new updates and the new trails and all these things from him. He is on location at the moment, so we're going to have him pipe in here in a little bit. So we're going to talk about all the new things One Wheel's dropped. So if you're brand new to the One Wheel sport, you're going to learn a lot about what's another piece they should add to your repertoire. If you like the Olympics, you'll love Race to the Rail. It's another way to follow the sports. But I'm joined with my wife of 23 years and 8 kids later, Holly Mendenhall.
Hi, everybody. Good to be back.
My glasses and your shirt kind of match.
Can I borrow your glasses?
Yeah, let her borrow them.
And then we got Lily over there supporting a Scott Mendenhall and Friends jersey.
Hi, I want to see what they look like on Holly.
No, I can't do that.
Yeah,
she's got to get her own glasses. Get your own. Get your own. But we're really stoked to be here today. Last week we were running another high school, middle school camp, and it was awesome, right, Lil?
Yes, it was amazing.
Oh man,
this ain't no little mamby-pamby camp. This is serious.
Yeah, it's serious. It was good, but that's why we weren't here. We were keeping a lot of young people busy competing. You picture boot camp meet Survivor, and that's what you got. Quit attitude. Failure isn't an option, and we postpone lunch until you get it done.
Right.
And so that's what we were doing last week. Still riding our One Wheels. I got to give a big shout out to Max and Brian, a couple guys online that are constantly reminding me. I don't know how many days I've rode my One Wheel. I post the wrong number all the time.
Max and Brian are two names.
Yeah, they'll remind me once in a while. They don't do it every day, but I get off on what day of the year it is. Not the calendar day, but like that we're at day, I think today's 213 days of one-wheeling. But I will post the other day I did 207. Like, you've already done 207. That was last week.
I would just go on Google and type in. Like,
what do you type? Because I do that, and then it'll give me the date.
What day of the full year is it?
Oh, that's a fair question. But that's too much work. When I'm going to post, I want to post and get off. And so I don't really do that. I think I got it right, and then I miss it. But shout out to Max and Brian.
Today
Thank you.
Today is number 213. And you could actually just
But Brian and Max are doing a great job.
Well, that's
They're better
fine,
than
but
Google.
you could actually just pin this search to your phone.
I could.
And then just like quick.
But that's gotten way more complicated than I wanted. It's just about writing every day.
Every day I'll just
and that's
text
what I've
you
done.
The number.
Yeah, you do that if you want to do that. I've rode every day. I haven't missed a day, so that's all that matters. The day isn't it's just not the... You know what I'm saying, babe?
You're completing the goal. So
right.
If you
but
miss
those
it
guys are keeping me straight. For those that aren't following me on Instagram, we made a goal here in the family to ride our One Wheels every day, and we have done.
Most have still made it.
Everybody but 2. Holly didn't make it.
Well, I started at day 50 and then
made it 75 days and then just didn't.
Well, it was because I was I didn't have my One Wheel with me. Like we were out of
town. There's a problem.
It's hard. Traveling is a little bit difficult.
Icon, she just forgot one day. Went to bed and woke up the next day, and she was sad. But she got back on it. She missed one day. Mm-hmm. And so the rest of us, we stay at it riding. It's been fun riding in every element you can imagine, from snow, ice, rain, and in between. And temperatures. Like, we're climbing to close to 100 degrees in Minnesota, and we've done negative 20. So you'll be done January or December 31st. Yeah, I think so. Or January 1st. What day did you start? On the 1st. So then January 1st. I have to ride on the 1st?
No, you have to ride on December 31st.
Yeah, that'll be 365.
365.
Actually, because it's leap year, we got an extra a day in there. Boom!
So you can end on December 30th. If you're going to do 365.
Right, you're tracking me. Okay.
I would do 366.
Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our guest, and today Brooks is going to help us in the conversation. Brooks is a great human being. He's a kind-spirited, very gentle, but such a ferocious racer. Yes. The guy can fly. He likes to send it. He builds his own ramps out of snow and then sends it. He likes to ride along the Lakeshore Drive up in Duluth area along one of the greatest lakes, Great Superior Lake. It is a must-stop destination spot to ride your One Wheel. He is the man in the mind behind the best fall One Wheel race out there. This, everyone, is Brooks. Put your hands together for Brooks.
Hey, Brooks.
How we doing, Brooks?
Always always the best intros.
Well, as I have people on more and more, you got to keep adding to it or changing it. And so today, that's
Different
what
every
came out.
time.
Different every
Are
time.
those off the cuff, or do you practice?
Oh, no, it's all off the cuff. I hadn't even thought about
If
it
he
yet.
practices, he'll mess the name up or something.
Yeah,
So
no,
he
that was just straight.
rolls.
I didn't
with
even
it.
think about it one time today. It was, I'm going to introduce you, and here we go. And so,
I'd screw that up.
well, that I might have screwed it up if I
Don't
thought
you
about
think-
it.
He's got a good radio voice. He'd be like, you could totally.
Wait, don't say that, because you tell people they have good radio voice means their face is not good.
Oh, no, you're cute too.
Oh, just checking. Just checking.
Okay, back to
All
Brooks.
right, Brooks, tell us, what is your current setup that you're riding that you like the most? Because I see your Instagram posting. You kind of got a couple different setups. You recently were trying to sell a 5-inch hub. Is that correct? But what's your setup? What's your go-to ride right now? If you're going to go ride Winman, which you just did, the Winman Trails, you were doing that like an hour or two ago. What's your favorite setup? Let's hear it.
Yeah, I ride both a Future Motion board and a Vesk that I built. So my favorite board would probably be my big tire Vesk, but my big tire blew a sidewall hole, so I'm not currently riding that one right now. And I threw my mini mustache back on with a 6-inch Trail Pro, and
Okay.
that one's super fun. But I still haven't spent time with my Vesk and tuned it whatsoever to my riding. It's just kind of since day one I've set it and forget it. So I know that board has a lot more in it for me when I get some time to learn and dive into that.
Yeah.
So that would be my board of choice. But lately the GTS with the 5-inch hub has been awesome. It's actually a super confident board, most confident Future Motion board I've ever rode.
Yeah.
And tires are still tricky on it, right? Because we're working on stuff and people out there are working on stuff. And I'm fortunate enough to ride that new Pioneer 5-inch on that board.
Yeah.
And it's got me rethinking, because it really eats chunk like a big tire. Like out at Winman, it's almost a better ride out there than the 6-inch Trail Pro, which I didn't
Wow.
think I'd ever say about a GT platform board before. So it's got me thinking in terms of what I want to do. But I've got some plans to hopefully sell that GT to rebuild that new rally series and do something with that and just have what's newest out there.
Yeah. So on your 5-inch hub, what is the strength of the magnets you're riding in that 5-inch hub? Is it the N42s or N52s? Yeah.
I'm
what
on
do you got?
42s with that one.
Okay.
And that was, I think, one of the earlier prototypes,
Yes.
to be honest. And I love it. I've noticed I ride some pretty hilly stuff in Duluth and need low-end torque, and it's really about nose clearance. Like the GTS has plenty of power, and
Yeah.
no matter what magnet hub you have on it, I think it's fine. What I notice on that compared to the 52s I've rode is like from 10 miles an hour to 20, it's
Yeah.
way more snappy.
Mm.
So like once you're actually at trail speed going, that 8 to 12 mile an hour, and you all of a sudden get like a corner and a flat spot and a section you can go fast on, it actually gets you there a little faster, in my opinion. That's just my personal take.
no,
I don't know if it's true.
I think it's true. I recently went from N48s, and then we have, again, as you spoke of, the very first MTE N42s, and loved them, been riding around. And then I put on the 6-inch hub from Onewheel with their new tire and all their GTS setups in that. And, man, did I experience... Because I went instantly. I rode with the 5-inch N48s and then went right to the N52s, if that is what the magnet's in there. And all of a sudden, I was like, whoa. Going up the hills, I just felt the power or the torque was just there for me when you had a little bit more speed, which made it a little bit more fun. I think that you said it's got a little bit more snap to it. And because I could sense it right away, I was like, do I go back to the 5-inch? I can't. I really am torn.
And I ride an N48 in my Vesk, so it's
Okay.
kind of the best of both worlds, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't see really any issues at either one of those two, but I don't think it probably stands out in comparison to either one of those either.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hard one. It's a hard one when you start going around and changing all the magnets, rim size, and the tires. You're just starting to go, what do I want? I think that's what people got to
many
ask
options.
Yeah. And you got to ask, what do I want?
When it was like a Trail Pro and WTF rails.
Yeah.
There
That
are
was
very
the best
many
thing you could do.
options.
Yeah. And now And now you have so many options, you don't even know what to do, right? Like,
No, I don't know what the best board for me is anymore.
no, because I probably haven't rode it yet. I'm sure
Yep.
the rally rails or the recurved rails are awesome. I've not rode them yet, but it's like I don't know. That's a hard one for me to. I want to try them before I get them because there have been some rails I've tried that I didn't like how my back leg felt, and it's like, nope, those aren't for me. And so I would like to try the rally rails to see if they're comfortable for the way I ride, because that's the question. It's everybody's stance and everybody's position is very different. Same with foot pads. I like the wide. I didn't think I would, but I put on the wide, soft foot pads from Onewheel, and all of a sudden my toe pain went away and all this. I was like, oh, that makes sense. My toes are. I'm a guy that like tries to grip with my toes, and so then I find my toes over the edge, and then they just cramp on me. And it's like, oh, more space. That doesn't happen.
Have you gotten to try them yet, Brooks?
No, but I know they'll be right for my riding style just because of basically the mustache rails have that kind of degree kick in the back.
Yep.
And that locked in feel for my stance, and obviously being a no hold rider just fits better with a board that's tailored to keep you locked in a little better.
Yeah.
Plus it's a trail focused board, Neil and Austin developing it. I have a lot of faith in what they've been, testing and putting
it.
Yeah, so if they like it, and their styles are somewhat like mine in terms of, trying features, and I'm more of like I call myself, I've changed. I don't like to go as fast anymore, but I like to do kind of like the gnarly stuff and, slow roll through chunk and that kind of stuff. So the extra clearance in the tail is always welcome for me on downhill stuff.
Yeah.
So you just don't go fast anymore, or what?
No, not hit. Like when he says doesn't go fast, he's not saying he's riding our speed now.
Yeah.
Did you really change though, Brooks?
Yeah, my mentality towards it, I would definitely say I rethink and think through things a little more than I used to kind of go crush through stuff.
Which is funny to hear because you still are dropping off 5-6 foot cliffs, which is more dangerous in my opinion than going.
I've always rode within my limits. Like that's the thing, is everyone has their own level of limits, and I've worked my way to that point, and I've spent hours on tiny little routes just to learn how to bonk the board the right way. So when you get to something bigger, you know how to control the board in the air.
That's right. Ride
within your limits. There's a lot of nuance to learning how to ride without footholds, because that's kind of the way you have to learn the board differently than when you can just kind of adjust with your legs.
Okay, so you've said twice now the foot hooks, foot holds, all those things. You used to have control freaks on. You are the one that got me hooked onto the control freaks because you had them the very first Winman. I was like, oh, now that doesn't add much weight to it. And now I'm a kind of a free foot gang kind of guy.
I've always been free foot. Don't get that one twisted.
I think it's because he recommended
Riley's
Riley.
a buddy of mine.
Yeah. Which we met Riley.
A buddy of mine, so he sent me those to
we
try
met
out,
Riley.
And it just happened
at Dirt Surfers.
Yeah, we met him. He's a cool guy. Thanked him so much for sending us a set of those. But they are super light. I would lean toward, I like to try everything, especially what we do in the community. I like to be able to talk about knowledgeably on these things. So we do have, again, somebody's going to hate me for this.
Uh-oh.
Because it sits here and I've yet to put it on.
I know they were just asking. There was a couple in the chat just asking.
All of it is sitting here. I don't know how many options I have here to mess with it, but not even open to me.
Is it like remotely on your list for the week to do, or not really?
Me to do this? Yeah, I think so. I think what holds me up, Brooks, is in order for me to ride this, I have to shoot a video first.
Yeah.
So that's the hang up, is I can't just open and slap on my board because of the way we want to do the video.
I mean, everybody would like to see what you have to say about it. So
I'm stoked. The most thing I'm stoked on, Brooks, on it is not the hook system, but it's these pins, the extra grip I can have on my board, because I tend to bounce around a little bit as I go over those routes and stuff. And recently, you speak of bonking over routes. I'm going more and more high pressure in my tire because I want to bounce over the things now. I like that style all of a sudden, where it used to be deflate the tire and try to roll over it. Now I've switched. And so I think I'll probably ride more with these pins and things of that in there versus the hook system. But
I think those are great. They did an awesome job with them. It got me thinking, right?
Yeah.
and I see a lot of people making that switch. It's definitely the future when you think of racing and going fast and, learning board control and progressing at higher rates. It's definitely having footholds on the board. But personally, I just think there's a lot of benefit in learning how to ride with no footholds, and the nuances that these boards present us in different situations are so complex, and it's fun for me to think of those situations versus throw hooks on and just do it easily.
Yeah. I think I always say anything can short circuit the learned skills you need to just acquire as an athlete or in our board sport, right? You don't have to pay attention as much to the board with the hooks on. Without it, now you're going, oh, if I bonk that, I have to bend my knees so the board comes up so it doesn't smack my feet and hit the ground, and then I can't land back on it. It's those skills to acquire that will help you to be better. And then when you put on the hooks, you're even better versus you're short-circuiting that learning curve. It's kind of how I've seen it. I am not against them. I do think it's going to make the sport for spectators more enjoyable to watch, because now you're going to have less boards flying everywhere and more people completing jumps, I think, which will make
helps events go faster too.
Yeah, it just will. And so I think it's the way of the future, especially if we want to gain spectators to watch this. Because in order for this sport to grow, right, we got to get spectators to watch this thing, so that there's an interest, there's fans, and not just because right now a lot of it, and it's growing, but a lot of the fans are the racers. What would be awesome is like at Winman, your race, that you have 500 racers, but you're bringing in 1,000 viewers because they just got to come watch.
That was one heck of a bonfire.
Yeah.
In front of those outlet, at the hub area.
We're set up to have a better spectator event this year with the dual slalom, and it should be it's on a trail, easy to access for people to walk up and actually view. So that one, we're hoping to have it be something where people can gather around and actually watch what's going on.
Ooh, that's exciting.
awesome.
Okay, so let's get to the Winman conversation.
There's one question about those FSTs.
Oh, yeah, what's the one question?
Sorry, before we switch subjects.
Thank
they
you.
were just wanting to know if the foot pad is like the original GT foot pad, like the same width. Is it flared, concave? Like, how's that? Is it like
that we can open up because
NC?
It's here's my first
like we have
thought.
the wide ones on our.
Yeah, it's just the normal. I don't think it's the low boy. I think it's their most popular foot pad. So it's what is this? Is this the low boy?
I think it is.
I think it's the low boy.
That is the low boy.
But I'm gonna tell you, the thing that shocked me the most, and we'll put it on a scale, is how heavy these are.
Let me feel.
Like, there's a whole lot of hardware inside there,
Yeah, it's
Brooks.
heavier where the...
It's going to change the way the board definitely falls, because it is now very heavy where those channel locks are. Very heavy.
Interesting.
So, I mean, if you...
But they're not the wide ones. Like, I have the wide ones on my GT, and love that. So... you don't have that option.
You do not. But again, when I first got them out of the box, I was kind of shocked. I didn't even think about how much weight it would add, but it's some weight. We are no longer about trying to get lighter boards. When you're putting this system on, you are adding. I'm going to say pounds, but that could be false advertisement. But you're adding some serious weight. Serious weight.
And I'm assuming it's Nick, Dirt Surfers is in. He's saying they couldn't fit it in the low boy, so it's a whole new foot pad.
It's a whole. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I did not think that was the low boy. I think it's the one before that. It was just I can't remember. They're flat. Maybe it's just a flat foot pad.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's jump into the conversation about Winman, which is one of our favorite races. Okay, it is easy to get around. If you're a family, you got Groms and all this. This is the race you want to take your family to, especially if it's your first one, because every race dumps you back out of the trailhead at some point. You can spectate pretty easy along a middle channel. I'm going to use channel, but it's a trail system. It's just easy to get around. Mom and Dad, you will not be concerned or worried. There's so much stuff for the little groms to do while they're not racing. There's pump tracks. There are little tech stuff that you can do right by the shop. It's just a great location. The beauty of northern Wisconsin is awesome. It hurts me to say that as a Vikings fan and living in Minnesota, but it is gorgeous. It is. Brooks and his team have done a spectacular job over the years to continue to make it better and more special. And so this is one of those that, hey, if you're going to buy a ticket, buy the hoodie, okay? Just do that right away because their hoodies are sweet. Well, they're my favorite hoodies to own, or the race jerseys. I got a race jersey last year. Love that race jersey. And so sign up for this. It's open now. The race is, it's just around the corner. What, are we almost a month away, Brooks?
I think it's like 50 days or something like that. September 20th through 22nd.
Yeah, we're about 6 weeks or so.
Yeah, okay.
It's exciting.
That's pretty fun. Okay, so let's talk about, because we've already said it's perfect for families. That is no lie. I think Winman does great, and I think Dirt Surfers in Arkansas does great for the families. It's so easy to maneuver around, and again, if it's this first race, this is a beautiful place to come. You're talking about now adding a new dual slalom where spectators can watch?
What?
Yeah, so same enduro race as before. It was going to be Saturday. And what Winman did, and every year it gets better and better just because of Winman. Their progressive trail system, they continue to build new trails every day, promote youth programs, safe environments, all that good stuff. But this year they had a dual slalom.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
He's freezing, everyone. That happens sometimes.
I'm excited to hear about this dual slalom.
I am as well.
Are you going to race it?
It was
Yeah, against
to be
you.
able to race it.
Hold on.
Oh, we missed it.
Oh,
Mostly.
He sorry,
Am I
you'll have to
back?
start that over. Yeah, it must be the connection in Wisconsin. It's beautiful up there, but
Yeah, I'm at
slow.
the cabin.
So we missed
Yeah.
everything about the dual slalom. So you got to start over. Same
So the
race
dual
as
slalom's a
Winman.
new trail. Yeah, Winman redid one of their old dual slalom courses that they already had there, so it's all refreshed, resurfaced, legitimate, left and right course. So we're able to race that this year. They allowed a 2-day race event out there, and it's an awesome trail. It'll be friendly for beginners, pros. Everyone's gonna have fun on this one. And yeah, it'd be fun to see what happens. We're gonna use one of the segments from the enduro as the qualifier for the dual slalom.
Okay.
So even if you only want to race the dual slalom, and when you sign up to race here and you sign up to race the dual slalom, you're going to get to race in the dual slalom. The enduro has nothing to do with the dual slalom in qualifying other than what order we're going to pair you up against people. And that will matter based on one of the stages from the enduro race Saturday. And
Okay.
everyone that races that dual slalom, even if they don't race the enduro, can qualify. So they'll still be able to run that one stage for a qualifying time if they want.
So what
Cool.
you're saying is like Lily and I couldn't show up and just race each other on the dual slalom. We would have to pre-qualify, and then you would
Based on
pair
our
us.
time.
They would pair you.
They would pair us.
You could just show up, but then you don't have the opportunity to place yourself, amongst equal
Ye-
competition or give yourself a best shot. So
Yeah.
you'd be racing against Luke Austin or Austin Silva first, potentially.
No thanks.
Yeah.
So
I'll do it.
What is it? What is it like? Like, is it truly side by side?
Yeah, like you'll be able
The
to
whole
touch the other
time.
person if you wanted. It's actually going to be kind of intense, because some of these corners, like if these guys are coming around here side by side, they're actually going to be able to potentially touch elbows.
Whoa.
Throughout almost the whole course. So it will feel a lot like head-to-head racing,
Cool.
but you have your own course to race on.
Okay. How long is it?
It's about, so for me to run it, I ran it the other day. It was like a minute and a half at like 70%.
Okay.
That's pretty long.
So it's all mostly downhill,
Cool.
for the most part, some flat sections. But yeah, you'll have to check it out. I did post a
That's
video of it
exciting.
on Midwest Onewheel's Instagram and shared it on the Facebook page too. So if you want to see what it looks like,
Yeah, pull that
You
up
can
so we
check it
can
out
look
there.
at it, Lil, on Instagram, on Midwest One Wheel, just on
Okay.
Instagram. Because when you say you have your own lane, but I can touch, like if Lily and I going head to head, is there no way for me to get into her lane? Like that's why I'm kind
you
of
could if you cross your course.
So
We'll
is
have
it
some
just
race
a
dates set up in
line?
spots.
Okay, so it's not like a barrier that keeps me from coming into her lane. It's just like a line of some sort. Is
Yeah,
that
you'll
right?
see it in the video.
Okay.
It's like the way Isaac described it to me. It was like building a trail that's 4 trails wide,
Ah, there you go.
but then building 2 then they're side by side.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Which one
She's
is
trying to
it?
find the video on Instagram to watch really quick.
I think I
Oh,
put it
twins
on
dual
there.
slalom.
Yeah, there you go. We're watching it as we speak.
It's hard to see.
Oh yeah, so you'd be able to.
Sorry.
No, we're watching it. Sorry for everybody at home that you can't watch this. We are
Yeah,
currently
go
watching it.
go follow Midwest.
So, but are you on your? Oh, I see.
Oh,
So
then
it's
it
some
splits.
parts of it you're on the same trail, and then it splits. Is that?
It's kind of you'll see. It's
Yeah,
kind
so
of
we're seeing
unique.
where all of a sudden there's a divide. You have to go left and right.
I see it. That's so cool.
So in the races, are you told which?
wanna do that.
Or is it if you're in front, you can choose your line, or are you told, hey, you got to
No,
go
you'll
left
have
every
to stay
time?
in your left or right lane.
Okay.
And you'll run both. So you'll run both against the same person is what we're planning.
Oh,
on.
so you run it
Oh,
twice?
That's awesome.
You'll run left lane, right lane, and then
Smart.
one of the unique things that we'll do, which we've been suggested, Austin Silva gave me this suggestion, of course, because he knows everything about what we should do for races. He's a genius.
He's amazing.
So we'll do something where you can only lose by 3 seconds or something like that, so that when you go back up to the top to race the other side, if you fell and your board rolled down the hill, it's not like you just can take it easy on the second run. It's still going to be a competitive.
Gotcha. Okay, this is gonna be sweet. This will be. I'm excited to watch that just as I'm watching that. Thank you for pulling that up, Lil. Oh, and you drop in off of the start is off of like a rolling start of a dock system. Is that correct? As we lost Brooks once again, the technology up there in Wisconsin. We're telling you, you're way north of Wisconsin. If you're going to make the trip, you got to fly in either to Minneapolis, Minnesota, and then drive 4 hours there. You can fly into Duluth, Minnesota, and take a 2.5 hour car ride there, or you can fly into Milwaukee, which I think is again
It's about 4 hours.
4
I think.
hours as well. So you got a lot of ways of coming into the venue, and there's a car ride involved in your trips.
But
That's just
if you've never been to that part of the country,
beautiful.
you should go.
You should
for sure go.
take the trip. It's
That's
worth
when
it.
you know it's the real deal. When
Yep.
you got to drive.
Yeah.
4
I,
hours,
all right,
and
I
you
think we
gotta-
got Brooks back in. Sorry we lost you there, Brooks, technology man, right?
It's the internet up here. I'm going back to my data.
That's all right. When you're up that far in Wisconsin, and same here in Minnesota, when you're way up north, you should not, right? Like, I get it, we're doing something special, but seriously, you don't go north for Wi-Fi. You go there for the beauty, the lakes, and the adventure, right? So I get it. Why they don't have to
100%.
have. So I get it. Okay. So what happens? Holly has a question. She's
Well, I
raising
would-
her hand like we're in school.
Hey, I was just gonna ask, like, on this race, this style, is this like gonna be, like a pro section, or
Pro-
is it gonna be like
everyone can do it.
Everyone can do it.
Yeah, your tire won't come off the ground on the dual slalom.
Okay.
Oh, wow. So you're
Unless
saying
you Luke Austin and double some
And
of the
you-
rollers.
And you
Right.
want to go off.
so you're saying that everybody
Yeah.
can do this.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
How do
it'll
you
be fun
qualify?
to watch. The beginners, amateurs will love it, pros will love it. It can be high speed as people want to push it.
Yeah, wow. The interesting thing about our sport, and this is, I don't know how to fix this in it as we go into because dual slalom, anytime you get to be side by side, I think is awesome for spectators and the tension that's there, like, whoo. But the thing in our sport that is an element in that, and I saw this was it Wheel Scorcher, where someone falls off their board, now their board becomes the problem. Like, I think it knocked off Rachel
Payne.
Payne, knocked her right off her board, and it was just a flying one wheel. I don't know how to fix that. I don't know if it's just part of the sport, but that is the element that adds to the danger of the dual slalom.
But that'll be an issue in Race for the Rail.
Yeah.
Not if you get out in front, it won't be a problem.
I love it. I love it.
I mean, you got to stay on your board at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, get out front. But that is part of racing, I think. I think it's like I know that's been a conversation from a lot of people. How about boards? I'm like, well, how about NASCAR tires flying off and hitting you? I just think there's some risk in sports that you just can't get away from.
And that's the styles of, at some of those are like when you're head to head with people, you are going to have to deal with your board. When you're at somewhere like Dirt Surfers, you deal with cliffs. So it's like it's a little bit of just part of it, I guess.
It is.
But Winman is offering you both.
Right. Yes. You don't have to do dual slalom, but it does sound like fun.
I'm doing it.
I'm taking you down.
Are you?
It kind of excites
impressed.
me.
I'm impressed.
Well, for one, I know Winman and I trust Winman the trails.
Yeah.
So it's easier for me to commit.
So wait,
I know
are
what
you
to
racing
expect.
me?
Sure, I'll race both of you. Let's go.
But wow.
Don't go talking
You're gonna
smack
do
to
it.
me.
You're
'cause
gonna
I
do
didn't
it.
say
Holly and
anything
Lily
about
are
it.
going to
Do
throw
it.
it down.
I want to race Icon if she's watching.
Oh my gosh, Lily.
Yeah.
Lily.
I'd love to do this.
But hold on.
I don't know how many times I could do it.
I was
though.
going to say that it would be set up to where
It would-
you're racing somebody similar style
But I
or
would
similar
race
timing.
all of you in practice time as a real race.
We're going to have to go up
Okay.
pre-hand.
She's gonna need to be put back
Yeah.
into her spot.
No, she just had all her trophies out last week. Brooke, she was bragging on all her wins at our youth camp last week.
Winman was the start for her.
Yeah, and she's got a couple Winman trophies, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see? Now, okay.
It's fine.
Going to add to it this year,
More to
Lil?
come.
More to come, he says.
More
Oh,
to
man.
come. I'll
Oh,
stay in
man.
the amateur division.
Oh, man. Yeah, I hope you get a good turnout of pros. I've been trying to, talk that up to so many people of like, man, I wish this was part of the ORL.
Yeah.
I don't know how. The only way I could see it working is like when I raced Ironman. Ironman, the big championship happened every year in Hawaii. And then you always had to score a certain amount of points to make it back to the big race. And so what a lot of pros would do, as soon as the Ironman was done in Hawaii, they'd go to Florida because Florida had one more race, and they would go race it while they were still in race shape, and they would go qualify, get qualified for the next season,
year?
and then they would have time off during the holidays and stuff where you don't have to train as much, but they've already qualified. So then they don't have to worry about as much in the new year. I just would be interesting
saying
if
this-
ORL would
We'll talk to
allow
your people at Future Motion about that one.
My
It's not a
people.
bad idea.
Your people.
I will
But
make
one thing
it.
that's unique, so a lot of people don't know this, and Onewheel hasn't promoted it, but Onewheel is one of the sponsors this year at Winman. They did support Winman's initiative to gain sponsorship.
Awesome.
Craft and Ride also supported that mission, so it's cool to see some Onewheel brands specifically, contributing to the mission of Winman, to build more trails and keep people outside. So
Yeah.
pretty cool that Future Motion, even though we're not part of their ORL circuit, they did, acknowledge and
They put into it.
help with the mission that Winman's trying to do here. So that's pretty
That's
cool.
awesome. And your mission as far as like this Winman Enduro is to go right back to these trails, and these guys do an amazing job at wanting to make more trails, keep them up, all that stuff.
Yeah, 100%. So this year's a little more unique in that regard. So two main goals this year. Number one is Winman Trails. All proceeds go to Winman Trails, but we want to try to encourage more memberships at Winman that are Onewheel users. We have a unique opportunity to kind of prove the value of our user group at that trail system, and they actually track, the user group when you do register for that kind of stuff. So we'll track that against numbers, and having a higher percentage of membership being Onewheel is only going to benefit our sake nationwide.
Yeah.
And then
So
number two.
hold on, Brooke,
Go ahead.
before we go to two. When you talk about a membership, what do you mean? A membership to the trail system where I just am, what do I get in the membership? Am I now all of a sudden getting, do you have to pay to ride there other than,
Yeah.
what does that mean? What's that involved?
So Winman's a complete nonprofit trail system. You don't have to pay any dollars to show up and take your family there for a weekend, but they do sustain their trails, right? It takes money and
Yeah.
the effort behind that. So they do offer membership levels from individual to family to seasonal to, summer. And then they track that, and there's some unique benefits. You get some cash to spend in the bar. You get all the stickers and the promotion, local discounts. And then in the future for our race, they're building camping on properties. So there'll actually
Ooh.
be campsites and places you can stay on site next season. And you'll get discounts and access to camping and that kind of stuff for our race. but a lot of benefit, just it goes all back into the trail system.
Yeah.
And so it's our way of kind of showing support for what they do.
And as you speak of trail maintenance, I mean, those trails are pristine. Like they
They
are.
build and fix them all the time.
There's no ruts from rain. There's just nothing. You go, and I know we're in the Twin Cities, right? So trails get here abused and just aren't taken care of well, but they're in parks and all that. And you're just like, who keeps, like, it's just 9-day difference in the excellence of the trail system up there versus a lot of the other venues I have rode in. And so it is, man, when we were editing down a video from last year that we're just starting to put out our races, and you just rewatch them and go, those trails are amazing. And then
It's like a destination to
It
go
is.
to ride specifically for those.
And
because
then
they're that good.
as we keep our trails here, right? We've got a trail system here, and we're trying to keep the weeds from growing on it. Trees fall down. All the maintenance I do on just my little, like all the trails, it's like almost 2 miles worth of trails as you do them all. Just 2 miles. And I'm like, geez, this is
a
full
lot.
time. I need to just become a ranger on my property.
Yeah.
Park Ranger.
Yeah, park
So,
ranger.
they
Park Ranger
have a lot of
Mendenhall.
stuff going on there.
Yeah, they do. It's impressive. Okay, so membership helps provide those that are taking care of the trails funding and jobs to do it, which is great. Then number 2, I cut you off. You were going to 2. What's number 2?
So number 2 just to continue on the number 1 subject, all proceeds going to Winman. There are initiatives and talks about us building Onewheel specifically purpose-built trails out there. Build features that are more friendly to our board type versus mountain bike. Obviously, there's crossover and the work for all user groups, but no mountain bike trail system that I know of has went out and built really purpose-built one-wheel trails. And so we could do some unique things with different types of rock gardens and features and build things that are unique to us. So could be fun. Number 2, though, for our race goals this year, historically, great experience. That's still top notch. We want it to be, you come, you sign up for a race, you get to ride lots of trails, ride your full race, have a good time, make it worth your investment in time and money. But this year we'd like to attract more pro crowd. A lot of the pro racers sleep on Winman. They don't, obviously end of year, there's a lot of logistics, people spend money, school starts in October.
Yep.
Or in September. So we understand all the difficulties behind traveling, number 1, and Winman's not close. But we're to the point where it's a premier level race. Like if you call yourself a pro one-wheeler, you should be at this race.
Yeah.
And
I
we're
think
trying to justify that more this year by offering up the largest cash prize outside of Race for the Rail, which you,
Wow.
by the way, have to show up to 3 or 4 races just to qualify for that cash prize. You show up to Winman, you have opportunity to bring home $2,000 plus cash if you're a pro racer.
Yeah, that's
Amazing.
awesome. That's awesome.
And that's male and female. So, and that's growing pot. We're trying to get, and raise more on that. So we'll continue to see what we can do on that front and push that. But should be pretty enticing, hopefully, for more of those pro class riders to try to make the trip.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, so basically what you're saying, that if you are considered a pro rider in the One Wheel Racing League and you've not done Winman yet,
You're not considered a
You're
pro
not
rider.
Yeah,
considered a pro
that's
rider.
your entry level.
Well, pro racers go to races that have money, right? You race,
Yeah.
if you're a pro qualifies as you make money one wheeling, in my opinion. Number 2 is you just have to travel to the best races. And I think we've kind of proved that, not we, but Winman as a trail system
Yeah.
has proved
Yeah.
to be a spot that is worthy of pro class riders coming out and experiencing it. We've had
Yep.
pros come out, they promote it, they love it, they tell everybody you need to go to this one. It's time for them to hopefully show up this year, and we'll see what happens. But it's going to be competitive if that's the case. It should be one of the more competitive races for cash out there.
Yeah, it'll be a fun
Well,
one.
and
If you
it's-
get more to show up, it'll be fun.
those pros that have showed up are extremely competitive there. So it's all, I mean, of course they're promoting it. Like
Let's
it,
just get more.
yeah, it'll just get bigger and bigger. It's
That-
great.
That's exciting.
That was
Yeah, they want more competition. They don't want
right.
to sit here racing against the same 4 or 5 people that show up every year. They want all
Right.
these outsiders to come down and see what it's all about.
That's where the coming out party of Gnarly Barbie happened.
Yeah, that's
at
her
Women.
first
I mean,
race.
was it her first?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
She was
Yeah.
signed up for amateur, and then was
When-
like,
yeah, it was so
You
cool
need
to
to go
just
pro.
hear the murmur or
That was
the
her first.
murmuring in the trees of like, oh, have you seen Zane yet? Have you seen Zane?
Now
And-
look at her.
Yeah, now look at her.
Also, Connor and
Oh
Hayden
yeah,
from Michigan are both Winman racers.
Yep.
Yeah, I hope I'm with you. I hope more pros get up there and make it more competitive, and that it continues to grow as a destination race. And it would be cool. It'd be cool. Again, I know for Race for the Rail, they'd have to rewrite some of the rules that, okay, I know the main event happens, but the first race of the season is this one. It'd be so cool if they could do that. As you were talking.
Yeah, and then the other thing that it's kind of cool this year for dual slalom, because I know in previous podcasts you talk a lot about, VESC and future motion and who's the best. And so for the dual slalom race, there's no board restrictions, no foothold restrictions, no wattage, anything. Build your own board, bring your best future motion setup.
That's awesome.
So we'll hopefully put some of that to the test, and a lot of people earn bragging rights, I think, after the dual slalom race in particular for that one reason alone.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a statement piece for sure, in which we'll take everybody in the off season to talk about, right? Because I think as we're starting to see the cycles of the sport, it seems like right around Christmas, you just hold on till about spring, and then all of a sudden new products get dropped and all these different things, and the sport takes off and grows and grows. But you have between about November to March, you're just talking about, VESC or whatever did the best before. Like 5-inch hubs became the talk because about Winman last year was when MTEs were starting to drop like crazy. And so everybody's starting to talk. It'll just be fun to see what transpires at the end of the season. You'll carry over into the new season. And I think as you're stating there, the dual slalom could set up the conversation about this battery percentage, this board, that. I hope Austin shows up with that board he rode in Dirt Surfers, whatever he's got under the hood of that thing, and we get to see that thing rip in the dual slalom. That'd be awesome. That'd be so cool.
Happens.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun. I was noticing I never finished the title, and I made it go live. Has anyone paid attention?
One Wheel Ends.
One Wheel Ends. That's the title of this.
I didn't notice. Wow. Wait, what were you wanting to?
I don't know. I wrote One Wheel
How
Ends.
did no one notice that in the chat? That's hilarious.
I literally looked over the chat and then
Why is that titled that?
One Wheel Ends. It makes no sense at all, but that's what I don't know. I have no idea what I was writing. But no one caught it.
That's funny.
I guess I'll have to come up with a title afterwards that would be compelling. That is truthful, because that is clickbait if I've ever read one.
That's pretty funny. Well done, babe.
Yeah.
Sorry, we didn't catch it for you earlier.
Yeah, well, Brooks knows this. We just had another guest lined up, and what I did is I had a different title, and then I deleted.
Oh, you had to go make a new thumbnail.
But I didn't delete, obviously, whatever
Whoops.
the last word was. I don't know. Maybe I had legends there. I don't have any idea. Nonetheless, very funny. That is not a truthful title. That's just an oops-a-daisy. So if you made it this far in the podcast...
One Wheel Racing League ends with Winman.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it's supposed to say.
Go. That's perfect.
Maybe that was supposed to say. Okay, Brooks, before we let you go, do you have any thoughts on the podiums at Race for the Rail? Do you have oh man, I think it's going to come to these 5, or do you not have a thought on that?
Well, we have to see brackets. It'll be unique, but I got to go for my no foothold, standouts, and my local boys. I think Mercedes and Rachel, and obviously Zane. That'll be fun to watch, and then on top of it, there's some really fast females right behind those girls. So the female class is really crushing it. So those will be exciting races. But in terms of no foothold riders, you got Tyler James, who pretty much qualified, I think, for every race, no foothold. Mm-hmm. And then Dave Stewart is still out there. And I won't count either one of those two guys out just because of their skill set with kind of what I talked about. I'm going to pick my no foothold guys.
Yeah.
And then, the whole class is stacked. How do you pick one? Any one of those guys could win it and would be deserving to honestly win it. And then my guy Luke Austin, he's obviously a favorite. He won every sanctioned race, and I know he's super skilled without footholds.
Right.
He proved that last year's race. Out of the blue, I was like, I don't know how good Luke's going to be without footholds, and holy buckets. So, those 3 guys I think would be maybe my top picks. But again, anyone out there.
It's going to come down to who stays on their board. I think they're going to push so hard this year that it's going to be who stays on that board and can make those gutsy passes. Again, not knowing the setup of, they've changed a lot this year. I think it's interesting that it's not going to be live stream. I think that's a good move on their part because then they're not locked into a fireside road to be able to film it. They can set up. I think that's going to be a really cool edit at the end of it. I think as a fan, though, that if we weren't going to the event, I'd feel like really bummed because I wouldn't know. I couldn't watch it. But I think that's going to be a cool move.
And I forgot Austin, too. Because Austin, he's been riding with the FST more, so I didn't qualify him as my no foothold guys. But if you watch his reel on his Instagram about just his riding from Winman last year, like he can take features like no one else with no footholds. So, and he knows and understands these boards better than anybody. So obviously he should be a favorite probably out of all of them. Him and Luke Austin would be the probably top 2 favorites just based on kind of history.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I like what I love about sports. I love Olympics right now because you get all the stories inside the sports, right? And sometimes when you don't know who to pick for, you're just going for a story. And so I think some of the cool stories that I would love to watch. So I don't have a one I love the story of because Dave Stewart's in there and his daughter's in there. Wouldn't it be cool if those two podiumed?
Yeah.
It'd be like a father-daughter duo podium. Awesome. To have Mercedes and Austin podium, husband and wife, that'd be like awesome. To have Tyler James three-peat, to have Rachel Cecil three-peat. That'd be awesome if those two did it this, right? Those just stories. You're just like, yeah.
I forgot about Rachel too. She's
there's so many, man.
That's gonna crush.
Yeah.
They're all
Also
so
Rachel's.
Yeah.
It's gonna be such a great year.
You got Rachel Payne, who has just had a season of what seems like setback after setback, still making
still able to get it done.
What a story if she was to podium, right?
She is such a good. She knows herself so well and can learn what does she have to work on, and then goes and just practices that over and
right.
It's a tough class. Both sides are.
You have Luke Austin, who has won 3 straight in a row. And if he doesn't do it on the 4th, it's like, so that storyline's awesome to me. You got Zane coming in as a rookie. She could just smash it all. What a great, they're all just, those are just good stories to watch. So it's so hard to pick.
Human.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they are. It really is. And now I know we will at some point in the near future on this show have to start picking.
Will not.
Yeah, you're going to have to pick. But I'm
excited.
And then they have done something different with Race for the Rail. Maybe Brooks, you will help me remember, but they're doing some kind of race that will set up the brackets. Is that correct?
Time trials
the day before the actual race. So that'll set up the brackets. Will be very interesting to watch as well. I think that's only 10 move on. Is that right? Does my memory serve me right on that?
10 total.
I think you are
Male,
correct.
female.
Close.
I was just.
Yes.
I think
5
you are
get
correct.
knocked off right away.
No, there's 13 women.
13 women and 12 men.
Okay, so
am I
3
wrong on
women
that?
and 2 men will get knocked off right away.
And so I think on Friday there's a time trial.
Where's Austin?
Yeah.
Austin Silva.
Help us, Austin.
Wait, Nick might still be in the chat too. He would know.
There's an elimination on Friday, and only the top 10 go on to the next.
Wow.
And it makes sense because if you have 13, that's a hard bracket to make.
Yeah.
You can't.
Cool.
So I think that's what they posted a week ago. And so it'll be interesting to watch Race for the Rail Brooks this year. It'll be a fun one. Are you going to try to make it out there, or will you not have time with Winman being right around the corner?
I barely have time to ride nowadays. I wish I could go. It would be a blast. It'd be super cool to see in person, but no,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I won't be there. My only event of the year is going to be Winman for me this year.
So will you race it? Will you race Winman?
I'll probably do the Enduro for sure because
Okay.
the dual slalom's new. I don't know if I should race it, having to maybe manage some of it. I don't know. We'll see.
Yep.
Nick and Nick's going to be down there helping, so Dirt Surfers is going to help, and obviously your crew's going to be helping out with all the timing and you know, just management of the race. So we're in good hands enough to where I could race, so I probably will.
Okay. That'll be fun to watch you be able to again, it's your home turf. You probably ride that the most out of anybody, which I always love to see when you're up there riding. It's like, oh yeah, this is some of the best trails. So it's going to be a good race. Still watching. Go sign up, register for it. It's amazing race. We've said that so many times. You will not be disappointed. And then it is Friday pre-registration, practice. Saturday's enduro. And then is it also going to Sunday, or is it over on Saturday?
No, Sunday's a slalom.
Well, register online first.
Yes.
That makes things a lot easier. Friday will be just show up and ride, practice, hang out, check out other trail systems, whatever you want to do.
Well, that's a brand new thing around here. We got caught in a bit of a storms are happening around here in the Twin Cities. Not actually storming yet, but it looks like it. And we lost our Wi-Fi, but we're now back and we resumed. Sorry about that. For those that were watching, I know you're probably no longer with us because you're like, where'd they go? But those that are watching throughout the week, there was a power outage, and now we're back riding right along. So thank you to Brooks for joining us today.
He's so great.
He is great. That one was on us, not him. But we are excited about being able to help. Scott Mendenhall and friends are going to go up there and be a part of Winman Race and serve in any way we can, from doing the timing to so many other things. Got to be there, everybody. So don't miss out on don't sleep on that. And Race for the Rail is happening. Exciting to see what's going to happen there. Yes, Holly.
Did do a little bit. It is 13 men, 13 women.
Yes.
And then they'll do the Friday. I forget what they just called what it was, but it's like you're racing yourself. Fastest times, top 10 go on. Bottom 3 are out after Friday.
Time trial. Mm-hmm. Yes. So, and then they'll do the brackets.
And then they'll do the brackets from there. Yep.
Yeah, which is a great way to do it, but it's not recorded now. You can get your tickets for Race for the Rail. They are on sale already. If you want to be able to be at the finish line, it costs more than just be at the event. So make sure you book your thing. Scott Mendenhall and friends will be out there doing some podcast stuff. We will try to post daily from there after we get to film, and hopefully be able to just be into what the community is doing. So we're excited about it. It's just a good time to be a part of the Onewheel community, to be honest with you.
Nick was in the chat earlier saying just how fun it is that the sport is just growing.
Yeah.
And next year's going to look different than what this year did, and Winman could be part of it all, like he was just saying.
Yeah, it's an exciting part to be about. And then I just want to give Shane a big shout out for giving $20 to Holly's GT Fund. That's great.
Thank you so much.
That's super kind. Nick Payne from Dirt Surfers is super kind to help us figure out how to get a GT. And so a lot of people are figuring out how to help us get that done and pull it off, which is really exciting. So very kind of you. This has been a good day. We're glad we got it back up and running, so we could at least come and have a proper sign off, because weird if you couldn't.
To sign off, not nice.
Yeah. And so give us a subscribe if you're still watching. Drop a comment down below. Thank you again to Brooks for joining us. We will see you in 6 weeks, my friend. Lily, got anything to add?
Excited for the next 2 months.
Except for you're going to beat us in the dual slalom.
I don't know. I just think it would be fun to race like that. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Well, let's go do it right in our trails. We can do it here.
Yeah, let's do it.
We could do that.
Not going to happen.
I just like that it goes off and then back. I think it'll be really exciting.
I agree. I don't disagree with you one bit.
I really like the setup of how it's going to be left side, then right side, and then
then
left,
you switch.
left, right, and then you switch.
Be very
Because
interesting.
I'm sure people will have a preference.
If you have not looked into Winman, you really need to.
We can't say it enough,
Yes.
apparently. Okay.
See y'all there.
We're trying to get all the racers lined up that are on the circuit of Race for the Rail. So we're trying to get a hold of Tyler James. That guy's a hard man to lock down. Be able to check in with him. Can he pull off a three-peat? That's what we're going to find out with him on the next podcast, everybody. Have a great week. Get out there and ride today. See you, everybody.
Bye
now.
everybody.
Bye.